There wasn't anything sent, but the server one was. What you had sent with the server.
Good morning. We'll call the Wednesday morning, February 15th meeting of the Criminal Justice Committee to order. Start with roll call, please.
Mr. Hess?
Present.
Mr. Long?
Present.
Mr. Fairfield?
Present.
Mr. Tholen? Mr. Carrico?
Present.
Mr. Eckhoff? Mr. Hunter?
Present.
Ms. Turner?
Present.
Ms. Monday?
Present.
Ms. Andrade?
Present.
Ms. Summer Herbs?
Present.
Ms. Rittmanick-Emmy?
Present.
Mr. Scanlon? Mr. Wheeler? Mr. Alexander Hildebrand? We have a quorum.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to need a motion to let Mr. Cavender come in on Zoom today. Mr. Fairfield, second by Mr. Hunter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of minutes from January 11th, 2023. Mr. Carrico, second by Ms. Turner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Up next, Chief Judge, Mr. Cunnington. Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Hess. Okay, good morning. Just three things to report on this morning. I tend to report in threes. I don't know why, but that's just kind of what's going on. Basement project is coming along very well. We're over 50% complete now. We have one hiccup that's going to delay the final completion. We anticipate that 98% of it will be done by April 1st, but there's a back order on the doors that are ordered for the basement, and they're not going to be in until May. So it looks in the end of May. So it looks like final completion as far as turnkey turnover is going to be right around June 1st. But everything is progressing very smoothly there. Let's see, the second thing is the case management system is humming along. They are rolling out the probation module first, and maybe Tom can speak to that if he's had contact with them, but I was told they were going to roll that out first. And then they're also in the data gathering mode for our conversion to our court view data to the Tyler products. So that's coming along, and we hope to see a lot of action in that regard very quickly, although it does take 18 months for a full completion of that system. And then third, on Friday, the governor signed House Bill 45, and that House bill contained a provision that said that for purposes of the Associate Judge Act, which sets the number of associates in a circuit based on population, the amendment says that the 2020 census does not apply for purposes of the Associate Judge Act. So condensed down, what that means is that we have not lost our associate position that was vacated when Judge Slawinski, as an associate judge, was elected last November as a full circuit judge. So that opened up his seat, and so that we're now able to fill that seat, and it's effective immediately. So I sent a letter yesterday to Marcia Meese, the director of the Administrative Office of Illinois Courts, for permission to fill that seat. So as soon as we get that confirmation, we'll post that opening. Any questions? No?
Mr. Hunter.
Yes.
Judge Cunning, what's the selection process?
The process is that we post it first of all, and then we accept applications. They're sent to Springfield to the AOIC, and they're set electronically. Unless you can't do it, then there's a provision to handwrite it. But those applications then are sent to me, and then I send them out to the circuit judges, the 5 circuit judges in our circuit, and then we meet, interview the candidates, and then we vote by secret ballot then that's all sent to Springfield, then they call us up and tell us who won. You have to get a majority, so.
2, 3, okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Any other questions for the Chief Judge?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I skipped over public comment. Sandy, hang on one second. We're gonna have an amendment, Sandy. I jumped over public comment. Is there any public comment at this time? Any public comment? Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to move up the sheriff. He has another meeting at 8 o'clock. Mr. Eckhoff, second by Mr. Fairfield. Up, Sheriff. In packet, you should, or electronically, you should have received a copy of the sheriff's report. Take a motion to approve. Mr. Long, second by Ms. Monday. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Sorry, Jim.
Go ahead on your report.
Yeah. So on the monthly report, one item that is a typo that just needs to be clarified under the Corrections Division A, under 2B. I think that says through January 2022. That should be January 2023. And based on our numbers, we are averaging about 30 local inmates less than we were at this time last year. A lot of that has to do with the Illinois Department of Corrections actually taking their sentenced inmates in a more timely fashion after almost 3 years. So that's a positive. And the good news is we are averaging approximately 90 more out-of-county inmates from both the feds and Champaign County. So what that's given us is, if you look at the far right on item 2B, we've actually received $404,000 more the first 2 months of this fiscal year than we did last year. So those are positive things for us. And if you look down, if you skip the sworn side for just 1 second, under the revenue, if you look at our average per month, our numbers are getting closer to fiscal year 18, where we brought in about 11.5 million. So those are, again, positive numbers, although I would look towards the end of the year for those numbers to level off a little bit, because our out-of-county population started going up towards the end of last fiscal year, August, September, October. So at some point those will level off, because we actually only have so many beds, so we can't take more than the number of beds we have. So our transports for our federal inmates will start to increase as they are slowly getting away from doing a lot of court hearings via Zoom is the easiest tech now. They call it something different, but it's basically the inmates sit in our jail, and they are by video to both Chicago and Springfield. We do still transport on those cases where they are required to be in court, but they are getting away from the video access as COVID, apparently the magic date is now May 11th for COVID to be gone. So once COVID's officially done on May 11th, then we'll probably start moving and transporting inmates on a more regular basis. One item, and I was in Peoria this past weekend, just got back yesterday for the Illinois Sheriff's Association Winter Conference, and the common theme down there was staffing, like it is everywhere else. But I can tell you, after talking to a number of county jails, big, medium, and small, we're not as bad off as one would think when it comes to the staff that we have. We are at full staff on the patrol side, and we are probably about 10 officers short on The correction side, which we continue to advocate with the local colleges, social media and the such, but some counties are down 30, 50. The numbers are just astronomical. We are fortunate to have the staffing that we do, and we actually have, I believe at the last count there was about 3 more that we are doing backgrounds on and bringing those individuals in as well. So credit to the Corrections Administration for keeping us, our staffing levels up. On the sworn side, if you look at under item B, after the first month in January, there were, and I probably should just leave this alone, but you can look at the numbers for yourself, the 0 and the 0 under fatals and homicides, and those are the numbers we certainly want to keep the same monthly. So those are good numbers to look at. Our overdose cases, which are just in county's jurisdiction, they are not county-wide. We dealt with 3, and mental health calls, we dealt with 1 in January, although a lot of times there are mental health issues that we are dealing with that may not get entered into our CAD system the correct way, so those numbers are a little bit misleading. So and speaking of mental health, as most of you know, jails have become quasi-mental health facilities due to the failure of the state to have beds available for those who are unfit to stand trial. Our correction staff deal with a number of those who have serious mental health issues, are found unfit to stand trial. They get evaluated by the state of Illinois, and they are scheduled to be sent to a mental health institution for proper treatment. For those of you that don't know, prior to the lame duck session, the Department of Health and Human Services, DHS, the law was that they had 20 days to get an individual from the jail who was found unfit into a mental health bed. Sangamon County filed a lawsuit because that wasn't happening, much like the Department of Corrections wasn't taking their sentenced inmates. DHS weren't taking the inmates who were found unfit. Well, in the lame duck session, and I apologize because I don't recall right off the top of my head whether it was House Bill or Senate Bill 240, basically circumvented the lawsuit regarding mental health and those who were found unfit. So Senate Bill 240 passed, the governor signed, and DHS now has 60 days to find a bed for those who are found unfit. If they are unable to find a bed after those 60 days, they can extend that time for an additional 30 days. And they can continue to do that into perpetuity until they find a bed to house or to treat these mental health individuals. Of course, the problem with that is our governor and our legislature just spent the last 2 years after House Bill 3653 trying to let violent offenders out of jail. By circumventing the courts, the governor and legislature are now keeping people in jail who should be in a mental health facility, not in jail. So our staff deals with these individuals, the courts deal with these individuals, and the bottom line is they need treatment, they need medication, and I can tell you right now that jails are not the place for those who are in need of mental health treatment. We, the sheriffs, have been working with DHS, and the working relationship has been really, really good. We are trying to come up with a solution on our own because that's the only way we can get things done, because it won't be through the legislature. So DHS has been open. They have been, I would say, helpful, and we are working to come up with a solution that is best best suited for those who need mental health treatment. This was a big discussion this weekend because there are such a wide variety of jails sizes in the state of Illinois. We are lucky because we have room to at least try to help, I guess, if that's the correct word, these individuals who are going through a mental health crisis. A lot of jails don't. And their answer, and the smaller jails' answer to a mental health crisis, is putting that person in solitary confinement. And that is certainly not the answer, but it's the only solution they have. So this isn't a Kankakee County issue. This is a 102 county issue. And again, sheriffs across the state continue to work with DHS. We will continue to work with them to come up with the best solution to getting these individuals the help that they need. So just that's just kind of an FYI on the mental health issues going on, and how they circumvent the lawsuit through legislation, which doesn't do anybody any good, quite frankly. So that's all I have on the report.
Questions on the report? We have a motion, a second. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Animal control.
Yeah, animal control update. Carrie and her staff continue to work with the architects regarding the new building. Our numbers of animals that are being held at the animal control facility remain steady. Carrie did want me to pass on to all of you and all of you in the back that they have some great adoptable dogs. So those who are in the market for a best friend, I would encourage you to visit Carrie and see if we can find your BFF. So one additional thing with animal control, we did acquire, and I'll talk a little bit more about body-worn cameras later, but we did acquire body-worn cameras for our animal control officers as well. And so those have been implemented and are doing what they're supposed to do. So we're happy about that. That's all I got on animals.
Any questions on animal control? Courthouse camera.
Courthouse camera updates. So our cameras that are in the courthouse right now, I don't know if I can tell you an exact date of how old they are, but I'm guessing they're about 15 to 20 years old. I know that with the basement project going on right now, we are looking at a number of cameras that are going to be placed downstairs in the basement. And so I don't know, and I'll leave this to the committee, because the existing cameras we have now, we have to replace one way or the other. And I guess I'd ask the chairman, do we want to just put all those together and come back with a price as opposed to piecemealing it?
Mr. Wheeler.
And this is inside and out?
Well, inside for the basement. Outside would be the replacement of the old cameras, yes.
The thought was, and it hit home when you looked at the video quality from that awful day with the shooting. We just put a camera in probation. It was crystal clear, and it caught everything, and everything else that we had outside was fuzzy.
Yeah.
You caught it, but it wasn't what we needed to be, so that's why I thought it was a good idea to replace them all at the same time.
Yeah, so we can either wait on it, or I mean, we actually met with the contractor who's doing the cameras, and we basically identified where we're putting cameras down in the basement. So if we want to combine that and come back with a much bigger number,
the ARPA availability is what we're talking about. It is key critical infrastructure, and I suggested he brought it to this committee. If you like the idea, then we'll throw it to finance for the total number.
I was going to say, can you have the numbers by the finance?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Could we take a motion then? Would be all right. Wait, will it be all right to take a motion to approve it here and move it to finance with the prices? Motion, Ms. Andrade. Mr. Coggan. Microphone, please.
Billable hours.
I am a public servant. It's not on the agenda, so you can't.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not on the agenda to
Courthouse camera update?
right, but it's not for a to take it for a for the bills. So just bring it to finance.
Just bring it directly to
Bring
finance?
it directly to finance.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion, a second. Would you like to withdraw your motions? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Coughlin. Okay. Tyler server upgrade.
Yeah, the Tyler server, we started with what was New World back in 2005. The server upgrade is something that Tyler basically requires at some point as their systems change. We are upgrading, I think the final upgrade takes place in October. So we have to upgrade our servers because the new servers we have will not be compatible with the upgrade. And I believe, I don't know if that, is that in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that's in there. So basically bringing this to you, and I think the chairman and I talked about potentially ARPA funds, or I don't know what other funds we talked, Andy, but something that we're going to need one way or the other.
Yeah, it was either ARPA funds or we take it out of the state's attorney's budget, is what I was thinking. But
He's not paying attention.
He's smiling. He's paying attention.
it was ARPA funds.
Yeah.
It's the, it was ARPA, was the
I vote for the second one, so.
Okay. Take a motion for by Mr. Hunter, second by Mr. Fairfield. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oh, that's, yeah. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
John, was there an issue?
We made this is $65,000.
You might as well just stay up there.
Do I need a roll call vote?
Well, you would, but it's $65,000. Have there been any bids? Is there a government price? Do you have anything as far as that goes?
It's the system that we have. It's through the system that we have already.
It's the same one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll call vote then?
Yes.
Okay, roll call vote.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Mr. Long? Aye. Mr. Fairfield? Aye. Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Eckhoff? Aye. Mr. Hunter? Aye. Ms. Turner? Aye. Ms. Monday? Aye. Ms. Andrade? Aye. Ms. Armours? Aye. Ms. Rittman-Akemi? Aye. Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Yeah, I got two other things. One is just informational. I mentioned the body-worn cameras for our animal control officers, and part of that also included body-worn cameras for our correctional officers. Something that I think is very important, and I think will help us, obviously help us do better work, although they do a great job now. But you know, until you see something on video, and it's amazing, even the body-worn cameras now, when somebody knows they're on camera, even though, you know, when you go to a scene right now and there's people standing around, they all have their cameras out. But when the police officer has the body-worn camera on, sometimes it's a little different. And we felt that it was important to be able to document things that are happening in our jail, and for the safety of our correctional officers, for the safety of those who are in our custody, and with the help of a grant that Senator Pat Joyce got for us, we were able to do that for both animal control and corrections, and they have been implemented. We have started using them, and again, our staff has welcomed them because it's going to protect them 99.9% of the time. So just wanted to let you know that we do have that going on right now with the body-worn cameras. And then lastly, if you recall, throughout the news through the last couple of years, DCFS has had a couple officers who have been, I believe one was actually killed, and a couple others who have been badly hurt by when they were going out to houses. There was legislation passed, I believe, last year that allowed DCFS to actually hire a deputy sheriff. There are about 10 or 12 counties in the state of Illinois who have already started this, where DCFS pays the entire salary, benefits, vehicle, uniform, everything for us to assign someone to DCFS. DCFS has sent us an intergovernmental agreement, which I have yet to send to Mr. Rowe, because I just wanted to run it by this committee first before we move forward. I think it's worth exploring. I did meet with them out at their office. They really would like to have one for their safety. I think it would help them. It would allow us to maybe do an additional background of where these DCFS officers or agents are going and what they could possibly be walking into. We would obviously be of assistance as well. And it's strictly listed deputy sheriff, so they can't contact Bourbonnais and have Bourbonnais do it, or Bradley or whoever. So the sheriffs I talked to who are utilizing this right now said that it's working pretty well. There was no additional cost to them. I guess I would really like to bring this to finance as we get more information throughout the next couple weeks, to bring to finance to see if it's something that we would want to do, because it would require us to hire another deputy, because we couldn't take one off the street to do it.
Would there be a contract with that, like
yes.
a 4-year contract? So
well, my question, of course, was what's to say in 2 years the state of Illinois stops it?
Right.
For us, I think, through attrition, retirement, things like that, I think we could probably work through it. But there is no set timeline. The supervisor that I met with at DCFS said she did not see it ending, but I don't think that she has any concrete information. I think that's just and I would probably agree with her, just because of the issues. Those issues of going to houses where kids are involved aren't going to get any better. So.
Okay, this is not on the agenda. I guess this would be a head nod then to move it on to finance. That'd be all right with the committee? Sounds good.
Okay, that's all I got.
I just have a quick question real quick.
Yep, yes.
Does DCFS now call you if they need you go out, or does that city or?
Right now they call the local jurisdiction if they feel like they need to. So no, they don't call specifically us. They would call the jurisdiction where they're going to. They kind of just want to have one person, kind of like we do with our Metro. So the reason that we're with Metro is because Metro wanted consistency. So Metro goes through all municipalities in town, and if something happens in Kankakee, they felt like city police may handle it different than if something happens in Bradley or Bourbonnais. So they just wanted that consistency. So I think that's why that they've just designated the sheriffs right now.
Okay.
Any other questions? Mr. Wheeler?
I don't really know if it's applicable, but it just makes me wonder on our liability. Going with DCFS, are we covered as an additional insured under their liability, or do we have to? I guess it's a question I think we should ask our insurance company.
Sure.
Yeah, because where's that extended to? Because those are situations you're usually not in, correct?
Right.
Unless it's after the fact.
It'd be after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Fairfield?
Sheriff, I know you probably thought of this already, but with all the new body cams, do you have enough storage for those?
We do.
Data? Okay.
We do. It'll be so the storage issue which is the biggest issue of the cost, will be something that we will go through every year.
Okay. Thank you.
Ex-deputy asking that question.
Right.
Yeah. Any other questions for the sheriff?
Who didn't have body cameras when he was there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, the circuit clerk, Ms. Cianci. In your package, you have a copy of Sandy's monthly report. Take a motion to approve. Mr. Long, second by Miss Monday. Morning, Sandy.
Good morning, good morning. So welcome to the new people. I haven't been here yet since you've all joined us, so thank you and welcome. For the first report I'll go over is the end of period listing. That's the big report, 3 pages, where it shows all the funds that we collect. So up at the top, we collect and disperse $233,336.43. And then all that money is accounted for in all of these funds. And then on the last column, it shows you how many cases were part of where that money. So like the first case for the clerk's fees, 757 cases.
Sandy, you must have a different report than what we've got.
Oh, you're right. Don't know how that happened. Thank you.
We got 252,807.
There you go.
There we
okay. So then, thank you. So then, then the clerk's fees would be 808 cases, and so of those 808 cases, $52,552.96 was dispersed. So that kind of gives you an idea of how that moves along for there. Thank you. Then the next report is the Harris & Harris report. So that is our third-party collection agency. So when we have tried collecting the cases, and I'll show you the state's attorney report too, but when we go past a certain point, then we upload the cases into a file and it's electronically sent to Harris & Harris, and then they work the cases. And so over the years, we've been with them since 2011. So so at the very bottom for 2023, so far we've turned over 110 cases in January to them, and we are owed $53,504 for that, and then 7 DUIs, which are $13,130. So they're working those cases right now as we speak. So then on the recovery report, this chart, it shows that in January they collected $22,582. So when people pay, they either pay them through their work or they come in and they pay us, and then we've got files that go back and forth, because when you look on the disbursement sheet, you'll see where the Harris & Harris line, you'll see where we sent them. It's on the second page, third page. We sent them $3,059.18, and then they collected $22,582 that they sent us. So for since 2011, we've collected $10,849,000 with them. So that kind of explains that chart. And then when Jim Rowe came into office, he wanted to do a collection call in the court so that if people didn't want to go through the collection agency, they would come in and they would make an agreement before one of the judges. And then if they didn't follow through with that agreement, then it would go back into collection. So it's kind of like they're kind of an extra grace period. And so you can see that since they started the program in 2017, they've collected $640,000 basically. And so in January, it went down to 23, or they collected 2371. So this whole collection thing was really a good program until they changed the law regarding the traffic tickets. We used to have a pretty good carrot that if you didn't pay your traffic ticket, then your license would not be suspended like the big suspension, but it would be held back and you couldn't get it renewed until you paid your fees and your assessments. And that went away, what, 3 years ago? Well, you can tell by the numbers. So probably even 2019, because we used to collect a lot more. 2018, something like that. So people know that they can still go get their driver's licenses renewed without paying their fees that are outstanding. So we just collect what we can. So that's about it for all my collection reports.
Any questions on the report? What does that mean?
Sorry. Because I'm new to all this, when you go through the collections, is it an extra charge to go through collection than it is to pay at the courthouse?
When you do it with Jim's Kate, no. But when they do it through Harris and Harris, they get a 30% add-on.
Add-on, okay.
Yeah. So then, if they owe $100 and they only pay $50, 30% of that goes to Harris, and then the rest of it stays here. And because that they do it per payment. If they pay it all in full one time. Does that make sense?
I guess my question is there an extra fee on top if they go through Harris and Harris?
Yes.
Okay.
So it behooves a person to pay it off
upfront.
early.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I was checking.
Yeah. And then if they do go through the state's attorney's collection process, that saves them also. But then we have that hook, then they can,
Right.
yeah.
I got you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Hunter?
Chairman. Sandy, any comments on the Tyler transition?
Well, we're anxious to get started. Like Chief Judge said, and everybody, they're doing their background work first before they start working with us, and then because the probation will be a much shorter process, they want to go live with everything, but they figured because that process is quicker for probation, they may as well just let them start and get going on it. And then as they're going to start meeting with us, I hope soon, and then what we'll do is start building the processes and the flow. So it'll take us a whole long time to get going. But
So where have you visited to get acclimated to the new system?
we visited Peoria and Tazewell County. Peoria is the first one that went with Tyler, and then Tazewell County is newly, within the last couple of years, they've converted over.
And what did you find out?
We found out that the efficiencies there are going to be so tremendous that it's almost like magic. So we're anxiously, we're anxious to get going.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, State's Attorney's Office, Mr. Rowe. In your package, you have a copy of the grand jury report and the grand jury statistics report. Take a motion to combine and approve them. Mr. Eckhoff, second by Mr. Long. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. We're up to about 89 indictments through the last grand jury. We do grand jury every other week. That number is, I'm happy to say, it's down a little bit from where we were pre-COVID numbers, the 2017, 2018 grand juries. It's hard to compare them to the years when we were in COVID shutdowns because we weren't able to bring those through a grand jury. We had to do hearings, so it's hard to compare the numbers to the last couple of years, but they seem to be down from where we were pre-COVID. So it's about time. It seems like it's taken a while to get there. Anyone have any questions about anything in the report? You can see that in the you have the summary sheet, and then in the Excel document we break it down by offense and then by agency as well.
Any questions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I just want to thank the committee and really all the board members for their support about a year ago of our office implementing a tech share program. That is up and running now. Every police department in the county is connected to it. They're able to submit all of their reports, any digital media evidence. You're talking about photos, videos, body camera, links to the body cam footage, everything through that. It's the same program that the DuPage County State's Attorney's Office has. It was built by prosecutors for prosecutors. We'll still interface with Clerk Cianci's system, and but this allows us to work more closely with law enforcement. They can log in and see the status of a case in our system. They can see who the prosecutor is that is assigned to it. They can click a button and call that prosecutor. They can see our notes on how the case has been progressing. So it really allows us to share a lot more information with law enforcement, and then vice versa. They can put a lot of information into that as well. It will ultimately make our office paperless. You know, I'm excited about that because you would be amazed at how files go missing in my office. It's like the sock in the dryer that you never find again. So it's just going to be nice to have them in a digital format. You can access them from anywhere. When we do Saturday morning bond court, for instance, we have someone in custody, but we're not really able to access any information about pending cases they have. What are the charges? Has the case been closed or not? This will allow us to do all that. We'll probably even be able to do it almost from our cell phones. And the next step is to get it out to defense attorneys. So with a click of a button, you can push all of your discovery materials to opposing counsel, and they'll have access to it as well anywhere that they want to, because it's cloud-based. They're able to, they'll be able to access it in court. They can download it, print it, copy it, whatever they want to do. But I think it'll cut down on a lot of expenses for our office, for offices that we interface with too. So thank you for supporting that.
Ms. Earps?
How do you police that? How do you make sure that not information isn't given to the wrong person with everyone having the ability to look at it?
So it's not accessible to just anyone. For instance, on our side, we set the authorizations,
Okay.
who can access it and what they can see.
Okay.
Right? On a defense counsel side, it would be the equivalent of handing them a packet of discovery. They're only seeing what they're being tendered. They're not seeing, like, for instance, our internal notes on the case, but they're getting all of the discovery. And just like they could share this packet with anyone, I suppose they could provide access to someone. Right. But those accounts are only able to be accessed with a username and a password. They register for it, and then our office approves that.
Any other questions?
And just to touch real briefly on your question earlier about the collections, the 30% fee that Harris & Harris tax on to that collection only goes to Harris & Harris. So when we handle those collections internally, so that someone maybe wants to get into a payment plan, or looking for a little bit of mercy, I suppose, it's at no cost or loss to the county. Sometimes it's possibly even more efficient. But like Clerk Cianci said, they've made it virtually no incentive to pay your fines anymore. And then the last way that the county had, or any municipality, villages, cities, the other way you had to collect fines that were due to you was through cash intercepts. The comptroller's office has a program, and they would, when someone files their taxes, we could intercept it from their state taxes and pay off their fines. But the last couple of years, the comptroller has suspended that program, so we're not even able to collect the fines in that fashion. So just pushes the expense of the system back onto the taxpayers instead of the people that are using the system.
Any other questions? Any upgrade on the building
Which building?
next door?
No. Not yet.
Okay.
No, we just got in there, and we're looking at it. Thank you also for being supportive of that. We've got a lot of ideas for the space, and we're open to ideas as well. So if you've got anything you think our community could benefit from that we could do through our community division, we'd love to hear the idea. Thank you.
Anything else? Thanks, Jim. Up next, Public Defender's Office, Mr. Pentwick. In your package, you have a copy of the monthly report. Take a motion to approve that. Mr. Long, Ms. Emming.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Comments on your report, sir?
I have no specific comments. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Any questions on the report? We have a motion to second. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. What do you have for us, sir?
I've got nothing. Have any question again? Any questions on any issues regarding my office that you may see or hear about? By all means, either bring it up here at this forum or give me a call or give me an email. I'll be happy to respond. My office is an open book pretty much, so I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Any questions?
Apparently not today. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Up next, probation, Mr. Latham. In the package, you have a copy of Mr. Latham's monthly report. Take a motion to approve. Mr. Carrico, second by Mr. Eckhoff.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just on the report, just a couple changes here. If I can get to it. At the bottom, there's two different numbers there for total contacts. 2958 is the correct number. Just a typo. So just under 3,000 contacts for the month. And the other change is in the juvenile side. It says 9 juveniles in custody at River Valley. There's just 8.
8?
So, yeah, 8 right now. So. And that's all in the report unless there's any questions.
Any questions on Mr. Latham's report? Have a motion a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The only other thing is we're in the process right now of applying for another $2 million grant for our drug court program. That's over 5 years. Well, to go back, we first were awarded this in 2018. It goes away this September, so we're hoping to get another 5 years. That's been a huge help. It's obviously about $400,000 a year, from drug testing to extending treatment to transportation. I mean, a wide range of things. And what's really nice about this grant is when we meet about it weekly, if there's a need we identify that we need to fund, it's pretty easy to move money around in this grant, easier than any other grant that I've ever worked with. So it's really been very helpful. And just drug testing alone for the drug court programs, expensive. So this is a huge help. So we're hoping, it looks pretty good right now. We're hoping to get that. So I'll let you know when we know. And just with the Tyler, Sandy kind of covered Tyler. I'm in contact with Jason, Jason all the time, the project coordinator for IT. I'm in contact with him on a weekly basis, and he's been going back and forth with him. We're hoping to have a kickoff here pretty soon, kickoff date on when we're going to start. I know they're doing behind the scenes stuff that doesn't involve our office right now. But I talk to Jason Shane on a regular basis, and we'll keep doing that, and hopefully we start pretty soon.
Great.
That's
eliminate some of the paperwork.
Eliminate some of the paperwork. Like I said, right now, I've said before, in the current system, where that case goes, it's a brand new case, from the police to the courts to our office, and now everything's building on everything as it goes through the system. So it's not new every time, every department it goes to. So it's going to save a lot of time and paper.
Good. Any questions for Tom? Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next is either
Yeah, he'll pop on.
Coroner's Office, Mr. Cavender. In the package, you have a copy of the monthly report and a copy of the monthly receipts of money. Take a motion to combine that and approve it. Mr. Long, second by Mr. Fairfield. Eric.
Good morning. Is the volume okay?
Yes.
Okay. We'll start this morning with the summary report. Thank you for allowing us to zoom in this morning. Coroner Gessner's away, and I'm at home on the mend. But we wanted to make sure that we got the information to you guys this month. So as you can see, looking at our summary report there, historically, December and January are always two of the busiest months, and that same held true for January of this year. We had 125 total calls. 26 of them were taken in for further investigation by the coroner's office, and 14 of them were autopsied. Several pending cases, still nine pending, so there'll be a lot of movement. Hopefully by the time we come back next month, and we'll finish those cases up. You can see as well that we've had 7 overdoses thus far this year since December 1st, and we have 5 additional pending overdose cases. So we will be at 12, which is spot on to put us, early on this year, right back on track in the 50 range, which is very high for our county. The average age of those overdose cases thus far this year is 47. So that's all the comments I have on that report, unless there's any additional questions.
Any questions on the reports? We have a motion, a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Your annual report?
Yes, thank you, Anita, for getting this sent out to all the county board members. I don't want to go through all of this with you. I think everybody can get the gist of it. Coroner Gessner and I worked on last week getting some highlights put together, just some things we wanted to specifically note for you.
You went, Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. So anyway, just kind of hitting some of the highlights on that. You can see at the beginning of the annual report that we hired 4 additional part-time staff in December of 2022. We feel really confident that these new hires will further help our team as we continue to grow to meet the needs of the department going forward. In addition, as we talk about every month with you, our community outreach opportunities continued vastly last year to include churches, community organizations, obviously government officials, high schools, middle schools, and I even had the opportunity to go and talk to some elementary school students down as low as 2nd grade. And I'll tell you, the things that the 2nd graders today know are things that when I was in 2nd grade didn't even know exist. And so certainly we talk about drugs with them, the importance of wearing a seatbelt, and just making wise, healthy decisions going forward. Happy to report that our social media influence grew last year as well. We had 57 Facebook posts, and we had over 700,000 individual reaches, which is a massive increase from our reach in 2021. And our website also continued to be a really popular tool for people to use. We had just under 10,000 visits to our website. It's been proven really effective, especially during and now post, hopefully, COVID era, with putting all the data on there. Media uses it quite frequently to see where things are at, not only overdose-wise, but homicide, suicide, or anything else that's going on in our county. Kelly, were you wanting me to pull up the annual report, or is it up on the screen there?
It's up on the screen.
Okay, sorry, I just can't see it on mine. One of the major highlights for our office last year was obviously the installation of the new freezer. Again, thank you to the board for making that possible, along with Wes Andrews and the maintenance department, and former board member Pat McConnell was instrumental in that process as well. That is a huge piece of infrastructure that will benefit the coroner's office for decades to come, has already proven effective in the past year that we've had it. For fiscal year 2022, we had a total of 1,392 calls, which was a decrease of 65 from fiscal year 21, but an increase from fiscal year 20 by 3, and still roughly about 110 calls higher than previous years before the pandemic. So looking at that, Coroner Gessner and I both feel pretty confident that probably the 1,300 range is a new normal for our county based on trends that we've observed over the last couple of years. December 2021 was our busiest month of the year. There were a significant number of COVID deaths that month, so that is likely the cause of that. Most deaths in our county occurred again between the hours of 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., and 57% of all the deaths in the county were male, 43% were female. We've talked previously in this committee about cremation permits and how that number continues to increase every year. Last year, we issued 844 cremation permits. If you look at the income summary report that you see every month, you'll see the totals for the revenue that is generated by those cremation permits. So that is a significant source of income for the coroner's office as well each month. In addition, last year there were 9 full organ donors, so organs such as heart, kidney, liver, spleen, and so on, and then 24 tissue donors that occurred at either one of our 2 hospitals here in Kankakee. There were 108 autopsies done during the fiscal year, which was down 2 from fiscal year 2021. And this year we broke down again the cost of the autopsies based on the manner or the cause of death. These costs do not include any salaries, as that would be really, really hard to actually drill down and get a real number. But we felt it was important to include these costs so that when we come to you as county board members and say, we need X number of dollars and here's why, you can kind of see where this money is going. So the cost to investigate motor vehicle accidents, for example, was $19,009. These costs include things such as the autopsies, toxicology, transportation, and some other miscellaneous costs that go into some of these cases. Does not include things like utilities, so water, lights, or anything like that it takes to operate the morgue. Homicides had a total of $17,015. Suicides, $30,933. And of course, the biggest one of all of them is overdoses, $67,534. So those four collectively are right around $134,000, which equates to 25.5% of our entire year's budget just on that small chunk of cases that we investigate. Keep in mind that again, that does not include salaries or any of the other natural or different causes or manners of death that we investigate every single year. In terms of motor vehicle accidents, as the sheriff alluded to earlier, we're happy to report that number went down last year as well. We had, unfortunately, still 12 total fatal motor vehicle accidents, but that was a decrease of 7 from fiscal year 21. Also positive was the homicide rate went down again, a decrease of 8 from 2021. The average age of the homicide victims last year was 32 years of age. An unfortunate trend was suicides. It's the first time our county has ever recorded in excess of 20 suicides in 1 year. We had 22, which represented a 120% increase from fiscal year 21. The average age of those suicides was 48 years old. And of course,
got a question, Mr. Hunter.
Yeah, what do you attribute that to, or can you make a determination on that, in terms of the suicide reasons?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. You know, it could be economic factors potentially. You know, the economy has changed in the last year a little bit, so maybe that might have a little bit to do with it. Not sure if it's something post-pandemic related as well. I do know that numbers across the board, talking to people in Will County and Cook County, they saw a similar increase in the number of suicides that occurred. And I'm not sure if we can drill down and get like an actual specific reason as to why.
Thank you.
In terms of overdoses, there were 51 total last year, as I'm sure you're well aware, which is an increase of 8 from fiscal year 21. The average age of those overdose victims was 43 years old. There were 37 males, 18 females, 37 Caucasian, 11 African American, and 6 Hispanic. Looking at the specific drug types, 8% were attributed to heroin, 16% due to methamphetamines, 47% cocaine, and again, no surprise here, 78% of all the overdose deaths were attributed to fentanyl. So when you see online or you hear on the news that, you know, there's a fentanyl crisis, it's right here at our own back door. It is not a lie or a fallacy at all. It's going on every single day here in our county, and certainly a big problem. And finally, COVID update, there were 107 deaths that were signed by doctors in fiscal year 2022 that were listed out as a COVID death. 86 of those 107 deaths occurred in the months of December and January. So fortunately, the total of deaths significantly decreased as the year progressed. And as you can see by looking at our report this year, there was only 1 in December and 1 in January, so that's a significant change from a year ago. Hopefully a positive trend that continues to move forward. So that's all that we had highlighted on that report. If you have any additional questions on that, please let either Coroner Gessner or I know, and we will certainly do our best to get you an answer. If you have somebody in the community who wants to see it, it is pinned on our website at the top of the page. Again, the website is www.kankakee.countycoroner.org, where they can go on and look at all the data and see it on there. Again, our website's updated daily as well. So if you or somebody you know wants to get a better glimpse as to what's going on throughout the course of the year, that's a great tool for them to utilize as well. That's all I have this morning.
Any questions for the coroner? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
Yep. Any old business to come before the committee? Any old business? Any new business? A motion to adjourn. Motion. Mr. Long, second by Mr. Carrico. All in favor say aye. Aye.